It's been rather a depressing time as your party has been traveling around the Desert Hills. Now you're on the Larch Path, heading south back towards Red Larch. And the thing that's surprising is that the further south you go, the more people you see that are smiling. You stop a group of travelers that look like rangers or perhaps druids and say, "Friends, what what are you so happy about? What's going on?" And he says, one of them says, "Haven't you heard? Haven't you heard? The the circle of the Scarlet Moon is back, and in 2 nights, they are going to perform the rite of the Wicker Giant. They will be doing this at a place called Scarlet Moon Hall. That will restore the balance. Come, friends, come. This is going to be a joyous time of rebirth for the Desserin Hills." This is perhaps the way your characters might find out about the adventure called Scarlet Moon Hall. Hey everybody, this is DM Galabon, and welcome to Lore Friday for September 25th, 2020. And let's go ahead and take a look at what this Secret of Scarlet Moon Hall is all about. Alright, Scarlet Moon Hall is one of the adventures within the Princes of the Apocalypse campaign, and it is the stronghold, the above ground stronghold of the Cult of Elemental Fire. And it is the stronghold that sits over the entry to the underground temple of Elemental Fire. The person who is doing this rite of the Wicker Giant is a druid that has now joined with the fire cult. His name is Elazar Dryflagon. And he's invented this Circle of the Scarlet Moon, which is totally his own invention. And he's drawing people for this rite to the Scarlet Moon Hall. And when you get there, you see that there are camps all around the hill. And we have a map here so that the tower, Scarlet Moon Hall itself, is on top of a hill, and there's a stone wall around it. Most of the wall has crumbled, but the tower and the wall are in the process of being rebuilt. And then on the slopes of the hill, there are all these encampments where druids and other interested peoples are there. And other than the tower itself, the most startling thing that you see is this giant wicker effigy of a human, some 30 feet tall, standing there. And it is the center of what this rite of the uh, rite of the Wicker Giant is all going to be about. But what everybody except the fire cultists do not know is that within the Wicker Giant, there's actually a dormant fire elemental. And when the rite of the Wicker Giant takes place, that fire elemental will be released to go ravage across the countryside. So, the challenge for the PCs is figuring out what's really going on and trying to stop this ritual before Elazar Dryflagon can release this uh, release this fire elemental to go rampaging across the Somber Hills, which of course could do all kinds of damage to the crops and the forests and everything else, um, the farmhouses and whatever that are all made of wood across the region. Now, these druids here, most of the druids in these camps are genuinely concerned about the strange weather and are interested in whatever this obscure circle is going to do. A few of those camps do actually have fire cultists in them, and there's one camp where a water cultist is there as a spy, acting like a druid. So, uh, when you go into or into the Scarlet Moon Hall, there are several levels, and where is it? Okay, so there's a side tower. You have to climb up scaffolding to get in. Down here at the bottom, there's a bunch of just rubble from the ancient construction that's fallen in. The scaffolding is part of the rebuilding effort. And so there are kind of cultists and fire creatures all throughout this thing. And then eventually you have to face off against um, Elazar Dryflagon himself. And the Elazar Dryflagon is, where is he? Okay. He is a CR5 druid, humanoid, and he's a 7th level spellcaster. So he will, he of course has all of these types of flames that are druidic, but also fire-based spells. So he is kind of the big bad. And then of course, obviously, if everything goes wrong and the fire elemental is released, there's a fire elemental to deal with. There are alternate entrances to this tower. The most logical being one up here at the top, but there are giant bats that roost up here. So if you wind up going up here through some sort of means like boots of flying or something like that, and coming in, you will then have to deal with the bats. All right, now what I like about this adventure is it's kind of self-contained and it's sort of out there in the middle of nowhere. Um, it's not part of a city, it's kind of its own isolated thing. You could easily gut the inside of this and change it to be some kind of a wizard's tower. Um, you could take this and put it into a homebrew campaign and change that wicker giant, instead of being inhabited by a fire elemental, you could have it be, any kind of thing that you want. Maybe this is a wizard, and maybe there is an actual giant that the wizard has under his or her control somehow, and they're going to send the giant out to rampage around the area. Maybe the party has a chance to try to release the giant from the control of the wizard. And what would that look like? Maybe even if the giant normally would be hostile, it might be friendly towards the party if it was essentially enslaved and they freed it. Um, and then all these little camps, they might be druids, they might be allies, they might be people that this charismatic figure in the tower has drawn in either through subterfuge or false pretenses, or maybe by being very honest, and these people all kind of are on board with what this person wants to do. So there's a lot of ways you could play that as a DM. Uh, Scarlet Moon Hall is one that I have run for parties in the past, and it's kind of fun. You can have a lot of fun with that wicker giant. You can have the thing get set on fire early. Um, there's these collapsing sections of floor in here, and that's always good. You can get some really good narrative stuff out of there, with people having to make dex checks to avoid falling through the floors, those types of things. Um, so that's kind of fun, and it's a little bit self-contained. So I would want to think, if you're using it for a homebrew, I would want to think, how is it connected to the larger plot? In this case, you've got an entrance in the what passes for the cellar of this thing down to the cult of elemental fire that's underground. In the case of a homebrew campaign, who knows where that might lead, or how that might connect to the plot. And you obviously don't even have to have that kind of thing down there going to anywhere. Um, Maybe there's like a dungeon that the wizard keeps if this is a wizard tower instead of an old tower, old fortress of a uh, long dead hero. All right, well, that's going to do it for this time. I have been DM Galabon. This has been Lore Friday. If you like the video, please subscribe, like, and share the video. Click the post notification bell so you hear about everything that's happening on the channel. Also, in the description, you can find out all about the live streams that I do every week, how you can follow those, and all of my social media handles. And if you have played through Scarlet Moon Hall, what was your most memorable moment? Did you like this adventure? Did you have a hard time figuring out why it was in the campaign? Was it fun for your party or for you as the DM to run this? Let me know down in the comments below. I'd really be interested to see that. All right, everyone. Take care. This has been Lore Friday. I have been DM Galabond. Good night, everybody.